I've got a pattern to share with you today that is made for knit fabric with cup sizes. 2 garments to show you and some zipper woes and how I deal with them. So keep watching. Hi sewing friends, I'm Karina. This is Lifting Pins and Needles, a channel all about sewing, limitless sewing. I am coming to you from Brazil. I have been sewing since I was a kid. I have picked up many tricks along the way, and I share everything that I know with you in this channel in different avenues: pattern reviews, sewing techniques, tutorials, pattern hacking, self-drafting, and I show you all the details of how I get up to my sewing very close up, in up close and so personal, a segment in some of the videos. So lots of fun, lots of things to see here, all sewing related. So if you haven't subscribed yet, consider doing that by tapping on that red thing there on the screen or wherever you're watching where it says subscribe, and tap on that bell so you get notified when a new video goes live. A few months ago, I was a pattern tester for a brand new indie pattern company called Patternscout, and I tested the Hannah tank. I'm sure you might remember I delved into a garment in white, which I hadn't done ever, and I was very impressed with the drafting, the fit, the instructions, everything with this new pattern company. I was also impressed by the fact that it had, you know, cup sizes, and that the cup sizes, the darts and the drafting fit really well. So when I saw a new pattern test core come out for this cardigan, I applied, and I'm so happy I was selected to test the Lulu Cardigan. The pattern was released on Monday, I believe, and I made a version that I am in love with, and then I made another one because that's just how I roll. And the second one I made on a whim, and I made it last night. I had an idea and I followed it through, and I'm really happy with it. But let's get into what this pattern is about. This is a cardigan that comes in 2 versions. The common features that both views of this cardigan have are that they're close fitting, they have princess seams front and back, they have a bomber style collar, both of them, and they both have a shoulder piece, like a shoulder yoke that starts here and then finishes on the back, and I find that really cool. View A is a bomber style cropped cardigan. It has cuffs on the sleeves and a band on the hem, and the closure is done with a zipper depending on the size, anywhere from 16 to 18 inches in length. Did I have that size zipper? Of course not. You know, I never do. View B is longer, it's got a gathered peplum, the closure is with snaps, and the hems of the sleeves are just hemmed normally. So that's the difference between them. This is a pattern meant for knit fabric that is medium to heavyweight with 60% horizontal stretch. Now it is described as an intended close fit, so you do need this stretch. And fabrics described as suitable are scuba, ponte, double knit, baby French terry, and even stretch lace. And you know how much I love lace, but I only have black lace and I don't have much left, and it's been the same lace I've been using for a bunch of projects. I really like that this pattern doesn't call for much fabric, so at least for my size, I just needed 1.5 yards. I'm sure I made it with less than that, I'm sure, but I didn't really measure. The size range for this pattern is pretty good, from size 0 to 28 US, and cup sizes B through E. So there's different front bodice pieces for cups B, C, D, and E separately in separate files within the pattern. Body measurements go from a bust of 29 to 52 inches and waist 23 to 46 inches. There is tiny bit of positive ease at the bust. Depending on the size, it could have no ease, like in my case, there was no ease at the bust, or it can go up to 2.5 inches of positive ease, depends on the size and the cup size that you've chosen based on the high bust. The size measurement provided there is based on the B cup, so there is a high bust and a full bust there that you can see what the difference is only 2 inches, so that's the B. But the other pattern pieces are drafted for differences between 3, 4, and 5 inches between the high and the full, and that's how you choose the cup size. It's all very detailed there in the pattern. I chose a size 16 with a C cup. I'm going to show you now a little clip of the overview of the pattern pieces and one detail I did to one of these pattern pieces just for a visual effect, and then I'll show you how it turned out. These are all the pattern pieces for the Lulu cardigan. It looks like a lot of pieces, but it's going to be a really fast sew. You can see these pieces there are the princess seams, and they don't have a side seam, so that would be where a side seam would be, but it has been eliminated. So basically you have a front there that attaches there to that princess seam, and then on the other side it attaches to the back. The back was cut on the fold, and that attaches to that back princess seam and then to that front one, and then you have like a full piece assembled. On top of the front here, there are these little pieces. They're like sort of shoulder pieces, shoulder patches or yokes. So there's a whole bunch of notches to match it. That matches the front there. Same on the other side, and then that one will go attached to the back there, completing all that shoulder area. I'm doing a contrast collar piece and a contrast band at the bottom. For the sleeves, I'm doing the normal sleeve with the fabric and the contrast cuffs. One thing I'm doing just to make a little bit of a difference, I've got this print. It's like Prince of Wales sort of thing. It's a knit, it's quite stretchy. I'm doing all these pieces normal, but this one I cut on the bias. You can see it going that way, same as that. So these two pieces are cut on the bias. The rest normal. So lots of fun, lots of pattern pieces. They all go together with a 3/8 seam allowance. It should be really fun and easy to put together. Okay, here is my Lulu. This is version A. You can see my collar piece there made out of a different fabric. The shoulder piece there where that seam is attaching to the sleeve, and over there as well. Now in the middle of this shoulder piece there is a notch that matches with the notch on the sleeve. So it's really easy to set in the sleeve. Where the princess seam is there on the front and the back, that is actually the notch on the bodice to match with the single notch on the front sleeve or the double notch on the back sleeve. There is also a notch on this pattern piece that is like the lateral piece that has no side seam. There's a notch there and there that matches the seam of the sleeve. So when you actually put all your pattern pieces, you have them all on view, you think, oh, that's a lot of pieces, but actually everything's so clearly marked. There's notches everywhere and you can just piece it all together beautifully, and everything comes together super nice, super quick as well. It was not a lengthy project to put together. Here you can see the bottom of the cardigan. It's got a zipper, and the band goes the way around. Princess seams at the back on both sides, and this is a feature I wanted to do just for looks, which was to have this lateral panel be on the bias. Now cutting knits on the bias is controversial. I wouldn't just cut a knit on the bias. I tested the stretch of the fabric. This was a two-way stretch. I determined it had the same stretch horizontally and vertically, and it's a really stable knit. I tested the stretch on the bias and I felt the fabric wasn't going to distort. Actually, cutting fabric on the bias on a stable knit doesn't really behave like a woven. It's not like it's going to go out of shape. And well, it's something I decided to do just for looks. You can see that this looks like that right there compared to the checks on the main body, just going vertically and horizontally. I think it's a cool feature, and yeah, I just decided to go with it. Those are things that I do that I think about, and I just did it, and I really like how it turned out. This zipper, it seems to be like it's metal when you look at it from far, but it's actually plastic, and it was too long. It was just like maybe 2 inches too long, and I was determined to use it. So I thought pulling out these teeth that were plastic with pliers was going to be easier than pulling out the metal ones, but actually it was harder, but totally doable. And my finish in there is a little bit different, but still neat, because if you have a zipper that's the right length, then you have a really nice finish in there. You can do it totally different than what I did, but I always adapt what I do because I never have the right zipper. Here I am in the garden, a little bit windy with my Lulu on. You can see how closely fitted it is to the figure. I like that. I think it's flattering. And I've got it half zipped up right there, so you can see there it is all zipped up. You can see the princess seams there, and up close you can see the sleeve and part of the cuff detail. I really like that. I would usually wear this opened. I usually don't zip up things unless I'm cold, and that is not very common for me. I love how it fits, and when you zip it up here at the top, you can see the collar details and how well that lies. You know, there you can see bits of the princess seam there, and I want to show you, I'm trying to stand up on my tippy toes, how well the sleeve fits and the shoulder. I didn't need to do any adjustment there, and it's just a great fitting pattern, and I'm so happy to have it and very grateful to have tested such an amazing pattern, you know. So up to that point, I'm like, yeah, I'm done with my test. I'm going to show my video, but you know, I'm obsessed with having a navy one, obsessed. And I just looked in my stash and I really couldn't find the right fabric. I found a scrap that was left over from making a long black wood cardigan from Helen's Closet that I made last year. And I always thought I was going to make a bolero out of it. It was not much fabric at all. I decided to bring it out, put the pattern pieces and see what I could get, you know, what I could achieve. So I did achieve something that I'm super happy with, and I'm going to show you that now. And speaking of zippers, I mentioned I struggle with zippers. I'm going to show you some aspects of my zipper woes in the next few clips. As you can see, I don't have enough fabric to make the full sleeve piece. So I've got it folded here, like yeah. I'm going to do a short sleeve version as a hack. I have already done my main one, so this is just me having fun. On the pattern piece itself, where the paper is just, you know, when you're assembling, that is my reference point, and I want to make it that long. In regards to the cuff, I want to put on as well to keep that little sporty vibe. I've got the same one that you would use on the cuff. You know, this would be narrower because it would go around my wrist. I have put that there to keep the proportions of how wide it's going to be, but it's going to be much longer, and it's only going to be about 1.5 inches shorter than what this measures right there. So I don't want that much tightness around my arm. It is going to be a slightly smaller than this, and that is what I have drawn there. You can see with white chalk. I've trimmed and I've pulled out a lot of these metal teeth, and now I'm on the other side, and believe me, it's not easy. I have to go one by one and just use brutal force. I just have pliers. I don't have like a special tool, and I just have to like pull them out. I'm actually scared of like doing a huge force and like throwing the camera off the... See? Told ya. Okay, actually this is not safe to do with a camera there, so yeah, I just grab them and just yank them out one by one, and I have a whole bunch of little ones right there that I've already pulled out. It's not fun, but I do this with most of my projects because I have come to accept the fact that I never have the right zipper. It's always going to be longer. What I'm going to do is have it like that. This raw bit, I'm going to fold it back there. Then I'm going to fold that back there, and then fold it down like that. On the inside, it's going to look like this now. So all the raw bits of the zipper are sort of tucked in under there. So I'm going to do this again so you can see. Right, here's my raw bit there. I'm going to fold it in there. Now fold this out like that, and then fold that there. And I think it's going to be cleaner, at least for my situation where I had to trim that zipper. I'm quite happy to have it finished like that inside, and I'm just going to pin it there. And I'm going to do this all by hand. I'm just going to secure that by hand. Okay, so I'm going to show you this, but I'm going to tell you first, this fabric does not have 60% stretch. And I should have sized up. Did I size up? No. You know, I printed my pattern in layers that means I can print just the size that I want. So I printed a size 16 C cup, and I didn't want to go and print it again in an 18 and have to assemble it again. I just wanted to sew it. So I made it, and just like closing my eyes and hoping for the best. And I know we all do that. And I have a product I'm extremely happy about, although it's very close fitting. It's very close fitting, more so than the Prince of Wales check one. Nothing losing a few 2 or 3 kilos can't fix, and I am up at dawn running and walking. I am on a journey for my health, and I'm sure this is gonna fit, you know, a little bit looser very soon. Although it's still very wearable right now, it's just very, very tight fitting. But anyway, so that I made mine short sleeves so that I could get the pattern out of the fabric I had. And I think I've never done a short sleeve with a cuff that would look sporty to match the bomber style vibe of this style. The length of the sleeve there, I just calculated that was 36 centimeters. I calculated 85% of that. Same as like when you calculate for doing your neckbands, you want it to be slightly smaller but not that small. That's the same thing I did to the cuff that I put on the sleeve. This is my second one, my on a whim one. Cropped sleeve with cuff. I think it's super cute. It's blue, it's not navy blue, but it's like a lighter navy blue. I don't know, it's looking way lighter on camera than it is on real life. There is a collar. This different knit did not want to lay flat, and so I did actually top stitch down everything. It was in the instructions that you could do that. The texture of this fabric is amazing, and I've used a metal zipper. You saw the issues I had at the top, but it's still a nice neat finish there, and it does work. The only difference is that inside it's a little bit different the way it's been finished to hide the raw areas of the zipper that I've chopped off, you know. Here is the sleeve. I am super happy with it, super nice. I did top stitch that cuff just to make it highlight, and it's not tight on my arm. It's just nice close fitting but not strangling my arm at all. Here it is inside out. You can see all the seams sewn, serged, 3/8 seam allowance. I used black serger thread for everything. At the top there, that's as neat as I could get it to look. You saw how I did that last bit there by hand. Actually, when I do jackets with zippers that I know I need trimming and all that business happening, I usually always line them, because when you line something, all this area actually gets hidden by the lining. So what's underneath, and you have like raw zipper areas, all gets tucked in under the lining. But you know, you're not gonna line a cardigan, like that's just not appropriate, you know. So that's why I had to deal with that way. It would be ideal if you had the correct length zipper that was finished nicely and you can just fold in and tuck away really neatly. I think that is a huge advantage if you have like zippers at your disposal, or like places to buy specific lengths. I don't have that, so pliers are my friends. They live in my sewing room. I stole them from my husband. He doesn't really need them for anything, so I have them handy because I'm using them all the time. Here you can see it on. Outside it was raining, so I had to just stand next to a wall. You can see how closely fitting this one is compared to the other one. Although I can still zip it up. You know, the fabric does stretch, but it's just a closer fit, you know, less forgiving for when you want to eat and stuff. There it is, all zipped up. I love the color of this one. I just really wanted a blue one. Half zipped is how I would wear it if I wanted to zip partially. There is my sleeve with the cuff detail. I am obsessed with this detail, especially for my hot weather. I think it would get much wear with this feature like that. And up close you can see details of the collar and the zipper. You can't tell I've trimmed it, can you? I'm so happy with this, and being this a solid color, you can see the features of the style better. Like you can see the top stitching everywhere, and you can see the shoulder details, that little piece that's on the shoulder, like a yoke sort of thing that's been top stitched. You can actually see that with this solid color. It's not a bad idea to make these designs in solids because the features actually pop up more compared to the one that I did in the check, the Prince of Wales check. Two Lulus, highly recommend. This is how it's supposed to be, like the original one. This is a short sleeve hack. I love both of them. If I find the correct knits, I will definitely keep making these. And now view B, which is the one with the ruffle peplum. I think for my style, I would need to find a really like a French terry, a more drapier knit, not so thick and stable like these, but not thin like rayon spandex. I just need to find the right one to try that version. The link to this pattern is in the description box. It's not an affiliate link, it's just a link to the pattern company, Patternscout.
Don't you think this is starting to wear on me? You've been raining down like hail. I'm weak. I have tried to give you my soul, but you can't love something you own. It's too late to repair what we made. What can I do? Time flashed by and I woke up on the other side of the moon. The sun don't rise, all the light is gone from me and you. Time flashed by and I woke up on the other side of the moon.
It's such a great product, you know, a knit cardigan with cup sizes and great fit. I'm happy to recommend. So if you like it, you can go and check that out there.